3, 2. Okay. Not sure when this thing started. I'm using the Logitech Logitech Pro C910, and I just started it and it acted funny, so I'm not sure. You may have 30 seconds of me waiting for this thing to start, and it already started maybe. That could be one of those outtakes. Today is June 4th, 2012. It's 10 a.m. I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. Tomorrow is the recall election in Wisconsin, and I want so bad for the governor, Walker, to be recalled. I fucking hate him, and I hated him from day one. There's some people, I don't know about you, but some people, well, I'll just make this on my, some people I instinctively dislike. And Nixon was one. Before Nixon was picked by Eisenhower, or when Eisenhower said, whatever, that he was going to pick him, and there was some controversy, and there was, I fucking hated Nixon and thought he was an evil SOB. And then Eisenhower picked him as vice president. I never trusted Nixon. And eventually Nixon, ran for the presidency and lost to Kennedy. And then eventually he ran and, was elected. And I always thought he was dishonest and crooked, and so it didn't surprise me at all when the Watergate scandal happened and when he had to resign from office. Now, I'm a liberal Democrat, so you're probably going to say, well, he feels that way about all Republicans. No, Reagan, not Reagan, Bush won. I never thought never hated him, never thought that he was dishonest or crooked. Didn't vote for him, of course, because he's a Republican, but same with Reagan. Now, Reagan did things when he was president that he really should not have done, but I never thought he was an evil, SOB. Now, Bush Jr., my beginning thoughts on him were that he was really stupid. And the people, when he was running for that first term, his hardcore supporters were basically, saying, yeah, he's really stupid. He doesn't know anything, but he's going to be surrounded by, the people that were with, Bush won. And then when Bush Jr. was reelected or whatever, I thought, by then, of course, his supporters were saying for his, reelection bid, oh, no, he's highly intelligent. He's a genius. And I'm going, well, no, this guy has no genius. But when he was into his second term, I thought he is going to bankrupt the United States and cause a major depression. I blogged about this. And I said, maybe he's not stupid. Maybe he knows exactly what he's doing. And maybe he's doing all of these things in order to bankrupt the United States so that there won't be money available for social issues. and that'll be excuses for cutting, Social Security and Medicare and all these programs. I said maybe he's an evil genius. Little did I know. But how did I get on this subject? Oh, Governor Walker of Wisconsin. As soon as I saw him, my asshole radar or whatever, this guy's an asshole. He was pretty, he was and still is very transparent. It was obvious from the very beginning, as soon as he got elected, that he had higher ambitions, that he thought that I'm going to be, because he was using, Reagan. And I could just see that this guy, he's brand new, just elected governor, and he sees himself being, our future Republican nominee and a future president of the United States, and he's patterning himself after Reagan. And the one big thing that Republicans just positively worshipped Reagan for, and I've discussed this in one or two videos before, was him doing away with PATCO, the air traffic controllers union, busting them, firing all of the people. And I won't go into that again, but I talked about the fact that that was a terrible, dangerous mistake on his part, and he was very lucky. We were all very lucky that there weren't airlines crashing and all kinds of problems because of it. He put the nation at great risk. And two, I talked about the fact that Republicans thought that, oh, that's just wonderful that he did that. And the new air traffic, he fired all the old air traffic controllers, and the new ones that came in formed a union that exists today for air traffic controllers that is more powerful than PATCO, the one he did away with. So he didn't, really accomplish anything except putting us at great risk and causing, and I've gone into that in the video, causing all kinds of disruptions and problems for our air traffic control system that still exist today because of hiring in everybody at one time and these people all having to retire at the same time. I went into all that before in great detail. So anyway, I saw this Governor Walker thinking he's going to be a Ronald Reagan and using this, the union thing. And but then everything that Walker did, man, just made me fucking hate him and despise him. Tomorrow, the state of Wisconsin is voting, and I hope that he's removed from office. But it appears that if he isn't removed by the vote of the people in the state, there's a big criminal investigation going on involving him and the people around him before he became governor. And it looks like a bunch of people are going to go to jail. And he says, well, I haven't been told that I am the subject of this criminal. Of course he's the subject of a criminal investigation, as everybody who was breaking the law was working for him, and they were all around him and all of his, But I'm hoping that he's removed from office. And because of he came in and he made up his mind he was going to break unions and publicize, I'm doing this, and this is what Reagan did, and I'm another Reagan, and I'm going to be, it was just, just so offensive that he's taking the mantle of Ronald Reagan and he's trying to use Ronald Reagan's union busting. Now, Ronald Reagan, when he busted PATCO, he put a lot of people out of, who had careers. He finished their careers, put them out. Like I said, a new union was formed. It's more powerful. Actually, there's two unions now. But what he did do, and I remember, because I was alive then, immediately, he had sent out a message. The President of the United States has broken a union, and it was like, we have the green light to fuck over workers and unions. And right away it started. And it was, clear. It was, companies would say, we're not giving you any pay increase, we're not negotiating with you, and we're not worried about you going on strike because we're fucking locking up the plant and you can't get in the plant. And it was just one thing after another. That so Reagan did accomplish that. Sent out the message to employers and to the corporations, hey, you can fuck your workers. And that was, if you want to give somebody credit for hurting the labor union movement, you can give Ronald Reagan credit for that. I hope tomorrow that Walker gets removed. And in a way, it'd be a victory for, it'd be a message going out to Democrats and Republicans that, don't come in and take money from big donors and have your agenda that you're going to end up being, presidential candidate. And what, so he's a little too ambitious, a little too want to change subjects. I yelled and screamed on some of my videos about the telephone. For years I used Skype, for telephone service. Well, I have charter cable and charter internet. I have internet and television, and they had especially could lock in a lower price if you take the phone service or whatever. So I took their phone service, and right away I'd get at least 3 phone calls a day, maybe 4. Now, of course, some of them, sometimes more, maybe 5. And the now some of the phone calls were from the lady who previously had this number. She had financial, because they call by name for her and say, it's just, sometimes be a recording, and so she was having some financial trouble, and I think big time financial trouble. And unfortunately, I ended up with her phone number. But then some of them were, and I played, I think, a couple of them in one of the videos here where I was screaming. I can't say I was pulling my hair out, But what I did finally, and two, my phone number, I listed it on the do not call list, national, and on the Texas do not, it didn't matter. And also, I thought the FCC put a thing in about robot calls that they weren't going to be allowed anymore. That's what I was getting, and I got calls from a few, and a couple of my answer, I finally just answered, and they said, we want to sell you a. And I said, I'm on the do not call list. And, oh, okay, well, and then I still got robot calls from these people. And one of them was, the recording starts out, the FBI has, violent crime is up 35%. And we're going to give you a free alarm system, totally free. One of them started out with the same type of thing and said, this is not a sales call. This is not do not hang up. This is not a sales call. And then the recording goes on, and we're going to give you a free alarm system, not going to cost you any money at all. Just call this number. And then I don't know if I recorded that one and played it for you or not. Or anyway, I didn't have to record it; it'd be on voicemail. At the end, it says, if you want this free alarm system, which isn't going to cost you any money at all, press 1. I'm paraphrasing a little bit what, option number 1, if you want this service, for your family, press 1. And now press 2 if you fucking hate your family and you want them to be killed by violent intruders into your home. If you don't care about your family, then press 2. That's basic. That's what it said, sort of. It did say if you don't, if you don't want to protect your family and if you want to subject them to violent crime, then press 2. Anyway, what I did was, Charter has a number of options. One is you can, reject, and I won't go through. Finally I decided I just picked the option and you can put in, I think, up to 12 numbers. And those are the only numbers that your phone will accept. And that's what I did. My phone now doesn't ring any, I put my ex-wife's number in so she could call me. And I put in my kid's cell phone and the home number. I hope I got everybody, that's going to be the problem. What if my grandson who lives with me, what if he's at work and he gets sick and, of course he's got my cell phone number, but anyway, I put in the numbers that I want to call. My phone doesn't ring anymore except for my ex-wife calling. It's so wonderful. But here's what if somebody calls.
Your call has been properly delivered, but the number you are calling has its selective call acceptance service activated. Calls from your number are not being accepted by this party. Your call has been
Oh, I fucking love that. Okay, as in a video, I told you about working on the photos. I've been working on the family photos, and I'm still working on them. This was 1952. That's me with the cowboy hat on in Barnwell, South Carolina. My father was working on building a nuclear bomb factory. What's interesting, what I found interesting, this is Augusta or Barnwell, South Carolina. When I went there, all the other kids asked me, "What state are you from?" Well, I'm from Missouri. That was 1952. That was important. What state were you from? Are you from the South? Are you from the North? This is California. Uh, they used to. There was a business. People would. I don't know how far across the United States that I'm sure, but they bring the pony and they bring this, the stuff you could put on the kid, and you get your picture taken. Pretty pretty neat. I guess that wouldn't. I guess that wouldn't. Probably wouldn't be economically feasible to do that now because it'd be cheaper to have a petting zoo or something. I like this picture. This is 1938. My mother, that's my mother here with the red hair. Whoops, here. And she got that job because of FDR. They were really, my mother and her mother were really, really poor. And they got, they'd have starved to death if it hadn't have been for FDR. This picture here I like. It was taken at 3324 Euclid, Kansas City, Missouri. And it's July 1941. And the baby, of course, is me. So you have, oops, here, okay. You have my grandfather. This is my father. This is my grandfather. So my grandfather was James Joseph Howard Sr. My father was James Joseph Howard Jr. And I, the baby, am James Joseph Howard III. Yes, I have a son and have a couple sons, and one is James Joseph Howard IV. One of my favorite pictures, and I didn't take this, this picture. That's my oldest daughter, and then my next daughter. And the one not crying is my oldest daughter, LaDonna. and the one screaming because she's scared of Santa Claus is Hillary. And I think the reason my oldest daughter isn't crying is she's sitting there thinking, she's a union organizer for a big union now. She's married. I think she's sitting there thinking, I wonder if this Santa Claus is unionized, and I wonder if he's getting the minimum wage at his job. And I don't know what Hillary was thinking when she was screaming like I carried her, carried her up there and set her on Santa Claus's knee. Maybe I should have prepared her in some way or something. I don't know, but I love that picture. Anyway, I kind of ramble, don't I? I don't think I have Alzheimer's. I wonder if there's a disease of rambling. The rambling disease. Thanks for watching.